Joining me live now is our consulting editor Rajdeep Sardesai, India's #1 political reporter and editor, and someone who perhaps knows more about Maharashtra politics than most. Rajdeep, welcome. You know, is it endgame Uddhav now? Shinde has posed with 42 rebels. You've seen those viral pictures. He claims 3 more are in Mumbai at this point of time. Is this collapse, imminent? Is game over now a kind of foregone conclusion for the Aghadi Sarkar?
Well, let me say that in the first instance, one is always hesitant to say end game, especially in the volatile, turbulent world that Maharashtra's politics has become in recent times. But yes, it appears that this government is slowly but surely on its way out. The exit door seems to be opening slowly, particularly now that Eknath Shinde has shown that he has the support of more than 40 MLAs, including at least 35 Shiv Sena MLAs, and that number could go up and cross that magic figure of 37. As of now, only about 15 MLAs seem to be firmly in the Uddhav Thackeray camp out of the 55. So purely in terms of numbers, advantage to Eknath Shinde and the rebel group, who are in a position now to break the Shiv Sena without attracting the anti-defection provisions that require 2/3 of the legislature party to break. And once they decide to take the next step of really challenging the Uddhav Thackeray government to prove its vote of confidence, then you would say that the fall of this government is imminent. What you are seeing at the moment is the politics of cat and mouse or brinkmanship, with Sanjay Raut, Uddhav Thackeray's aide, daring the MLAs to first come to Mumbai and then discuss any possibility of withdrawing from this MVA government, which is a demand of the Eknath Shinde camp. And the Eknath Shinde camp telling the Uddhav Thackeray camp, first withdraw support or break away from the NCP and Congress, and then we can take the next move. So in this game of brinkmanship, particularly the Uddhav Thackeray camp is trying to buy time, in my view.
Yeah.
And finally, it could well be on the floor of the House that the government falls, although there is one view within the Shiv Sena that Uddhav Thackeray should be ready to hand over his resignation in the knowledge that he has lost the support of the majority of the Sena MLAs. There's that small possibility that the Uddhav camp is still counting on, that once the MLAs come from Guwahati to Mumbai, things could change, and at least a dozen to maybe even 15, 16 may have a change of heart once they are confronted with their own constituents, the Shiv Sena rank and file. But I think it's a small hope. But as they say, Umeed par duniya qaim hai. So the Uddhav Thackeray camp is living on hope, while the Eknath Shinde camp seems to be jubilant and has all the momentum with it.
Rajdeep, but what happens next? You know, in the immediate hours, immediate minutes and hours of this, rapidly shape-shifting story. Are you seeing the BJP forming the government, with Fadnavis as chief minister and Shinde as a deputy chief minister?
Well, you're asking me what shape this government will take. Now, one possibility, and the most likely possibility, is Devendra Fadnavis, who has stayed completely silent, but I am told is choreographing this operation from behind, is waiting to pounce. The moment Eknath Shinde is completely confident of his MLAs and a confidence vote is called, Devendra Fadnavis will, I'm sure, reveal his cards, and he wants to therefore revive the original BJP Sena alliance, possibly minus Uddhav Thackeray this time, and thereby become chief minister and maybe offer Eknath Shinde deputy chief minister. That's the most likely scenario. A second possibility is of Eknath Shinde's group merging with the BJP, but that's a remote possibility at the moment. So far, Eknath Shinde is claiming that he's the real Shiv Sena, so doesn't want to merge with the BJP, wants to maintain his identity. And the third possibility is the possibility of president's rule being called, because there is a section of the BJP which believes that this jod-tod ki Rajniti has limited advantage, and eventually the BJP should be in a position to go back to the electorate and demand a majority of its own in Maharashtra. But that will only happen if this becomes a prolonged battle. As of now, possibility number 1 seems most likely: Devendra Fadnavis chief minister, Eknath Shinde deputy chief minister. And then, of course, there is the fourth and final possibility that all these MLAs, at least a section of these MLAs, return to Uddhav Thackeray doesn't look like happening for now. It appears that the MBA government is clearly on ventilator and is looking more and more, it's looking more and more difficult for Matoshri to pull this one off.